So the schools have been a really big conversation in your first term. And I'm just curious, like, what are some of the really amazing things that you've seen come out of our school system, and what experiences have you had working with educators and our school community, and what do you hope to see in the next few years in public education?
So schools have been a big conversation in my first term, but they've actually been a big conversation for me ever since before I was involved in city government, but certainly since was a city councilor. So it's always been a real focus for me, and it was one of the reasons why I was really excited to be mayor, because as a city councilor you don't really get to do school stuff, and I was excited to be able to be more involved. And it's because my experience with the Northampton Public Schools has been that they're just really remarkable educators. We have really strong administrators who work really hard to give our kids the best possible education. And so now, we've all lived through a pandemic. I was in a house with my kids who are on school online as I was trying to do my job and also be the council president. And that it was a remarkable thing for us all to have lived through, but I saw how incredibly hard people were working, and how I feel like that's a great example of a time when we all really tried to pull together and deal with something that none of us had prepared for, and figure out how to adapt and make the best possible situation we could for our students and for our community. And it just made me even more excited to support our schools. And, I continue to see how hard everybody works. We've had a lot of turnover with administrators. We've, had real issues with special education and making sure that we have enough resources for that. And there have been a lot of things that have been really hard. And I see how much the caregivers are working, how much the students are working, and how much our educators and our administrators are working to try and pull together and work together to meet these growing needs. We have immense growing needs in our districts, like there are everywhere. And, we have real funding issues around that, like everywhere else does too. There's just, the costs of everything have increased so much, and the need has increased so much since the pandemic. That we really need to be able to work together and have conversations with each other and figure out how best to meet our needs and be able to prioritize needs with the resources that we have. And that takes real collaboration. But I have immense belief and trust in our district, and it's been the greatest joy to be able to work with students. And I think you are a remarkable example of someone who really cares about your community and does a lot of work to make your world better.
On the Youth Commission, we, we advocate for the needs of young people, and this has been such a big conversation in our community, and it's something that really does impact young people and our educators. I know I've had countless incredible teachers, which I'm super grateful for. And so, working with you, working with the community has been a really important part of the work that we've done on the Youth Commission. Something I'm excited to continue to do this year, and then I hope continues after I leave.